Okay, video number 2 on the deal or no deal. Viewer's decision. Place it in the comments below. A lot of people would say no deal. Yeah, I'd say it's probably right in the middle. Like I say, where I'm from here in central Newfoundland, that's probably a $4,000 machine, $3,500 a day. But in the previous video, I just bought it, and it was trouble upshifting. From first to neutral to first wasn't so bad. Reverse was fine. But all upshifting, I even adjusted clutch there to try to compensate for the issue, but no go. So we decided to get her in the garage. And on the previous video, I was just starting to take her down. So we got the front plate, clutch side cover off, and of course the bearing dropped down on the ground and sockets went down in the oil bucket, but that's okay. That was our assumption, was the shift plate, and it could have been the shift drum, which was in the rear, which was causing our neutral light to stay on. So, you know, symptoms don't always give you the solution. So anyway, figured we'd take the front cover off, which was a sensible first start rather than hauling the engine and splitting the base. So here's our modern tool inventory. Looks like a bit of scoring on the secondary clutch, but I'm not sure if they're all like that or not. I don't think, if memory serves me well, I don't think it's supposed to be overheated like that. But anyway, nowhere else is there a sign of any overheating, or that's original gasket now, or the original Honda RTV sealant. Now ours at Toyota is black, but this is grey, I guess, to match the engine. But anyway, it was never touched. Cracked in bolts right from the factory. 6mm, 10mm heads. Anyway, here's what we found. The shift fork itself, or the shift mechanism, great shape. I expected it could be a bit of wear, tapered on one end. But anyway, here is our shift plate. Sometimes you get a hairline crack down through here. But that was all fine. So when I was manually shifting the unit with the cover off, you could feel like a notch in the marks of shift. And I don't know if you can see that on the right hand side. There's two pawls, left and right. And right here, there's a pretty significant gash, which would suggest something at a line, or, you know, I would expect the this piece to crack first, right across here. But anyway, it's not so noticeable from the side view profile, but right there, it was almost like it was cocked. Anyway, I checked the star wheel, the gear wheel onto the drum, and sometimes the bolt backs off. Allen key, but it's all fine. So this is fairly significant, and that would be the upshift, because your fork, this is going to sit bottom up, and now it's bottom up. This would sit on the engine side towards the clutch down, and this would upshift and downshift. So this would make all the difference. Downshift was fine. Upshift, we were getting some gear clash. So there you are. We're hoping that the shift drum has no issues, and there's probably a totally unrelated condition with the neutral light. But like I say, you're buying this off, even if you buy from the original owner, everybody get a heads up and do some scanning. You know, I got it for a decent deal, so I just loaded the board trailer and come on. I could have probably used it for what I wanted it for. It could have probably been used, but you know, if you're up in the bush somewhere and that shears off totally there. You're stuck in whatever gear you're sitting in. So anyway, you guys figure out if it's a deal or no deal. $2,000 for a 2003 fourtrax. I know our friends down south in the United States, they're ranchers, so same setup. Has a manual shift, which is what I was looking for. Because if you had electric shift, angle sensors and the gears and shift motors and wiring, and no, I don't think, not for a 20-year-old machine. Probably $1,000 was enough for it. But there's $1,000 worth of accessories on it that I would have had to put on here in central Newfoundland. I think it's going to be minus 20 or something tomorrow and tonight. So anyway, you can break the wing, or somebody you can have on the back a little bit more comfort and some more storage is ideal. And a winch, of course, to a lot of the trails that we go on is growed in. That's why I do have a new machine, a side by side and stuff, but if I'm going in the hollers or in the thick brush, this is the one. And the other one I got, Kodiak, is what we rely on. And a winch is always nice for that extra little pluck when you need it to get a blowdown out of the trail. Sometimes you only just need to squeeze under with a couple inches of clearance. So yeah, we're gonna order our parts another week, and we'll keep you up to date. And we're probably going to start a series of this deal or no deal, because we picked up a few machines. And there's our ATC project number 2. I don't like overlapping projects like we mentioned before, but I'm trying to keep everything separate here. That's our 86 250R. The only thing not matching on that pretty much is the black engine for 86. The triple tree is right. The seat is going to be correct when I get the ATC. Of course, it's Mayer aftermarket fenders. Rims are correct with the right glass on them. Front shock boots are correct. Headlights correct. Decals on the tank or the flarings is correct. West Coast swing arm. So anyway, that's a separate tangent, but we're getting some parts in. Mr. eBay showed up again today with some clutch pivot, some brake shoes, case saver. So in order to start this project again, I guess actually we got a slave cylinder too. We're waiting for this collar the previous owner installed. A piece of rubber. So wait for our parts and continue on with that. Anyways, thanks for watching. Took that bike for a little ride on a couple occasions, and it's just like come into the shop. Head the showroom. So we get her all back together now, see what happens. There's a reason why that pivot broke, shift plate, and I'm hoping it was just you know, the ranchers and a lot of the US models had a full guard there for your foot peg, so it would probably, you know, your shifter wasn't exposed like that one is, so a stump or anything can come up and hook your shifter. But a lot of times the shifter spline or the shifter itself will fail before the paw on the plate. So anyway, we're going to keep you posted. Have a good weekend. All the best. Over and out.